Hello, beautiful beings. I'm here with another contemplation, revelation around the topic of belonging. Oh, it's been a pretty massive thing in my life, but especially in the past week or two, this deep wound within myself. Oh, my nose is itchy. um, of feeling like I don't belong has really been revealing itself to me. And I found myself laying in the bath today with this mantra: I belong here just as I am. And as this affirmation was echoing to me, I realized how thirsty my body was for the feeling of belonging just as I am. And I've been digging into the shadows and layers of this topic of belonging. And I'd like to unpack it with you because I feel like it's a really deep core wound, not only for me, but for many humans. And like it's vital for us to feel like we belong in order to actually be in our bodies and to be present with our soul in this life, to be our true selves in our unique expressive nature. And if we feel like we don't belong, then that's really aggravating to our nervous system and creates a lot of dysfunction in our brain and can really be disorienting in our lives. So, yeah, just take a moment to actually feel into that wound within you. Welcome to just close your eyes for just a minute. This isn't going to be a meditation, but for now, just close your eyes and tune into where in your body do you feel that lack of belonging. It could feel like a stagnant energy spot. It might feel more density, more pain, more itchiness, agitation. Just feel into that for a moment. Maybe that space within you that your soul doesn't yet feel ready to occupy, doesn't feel ease in that part of your body. Just acknowledge it and feel it and be okay with it as it is. Say thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for serving me. Thank you for speaking, because it's speaking to you, that space. When you're ready, again, this isn't a meditation. You're just welcome to open your eyes and meet me here. You don't have to. Keep your eyes closed if you'd like. And so, the wound of belonging, where where did it originate from? Well, there's a lot in what's been passed down through our ancestral line, through the lineage of us being told no a lot, more than yes. And so, in a way, as a child, when we're connected to source energy and possibility and imagination, and we were kept being told no by parents that really want to actually help us succeed and thrive in this world, we're an extension of them. It really isn't their fault. They just did the best they can. And with that, we have to acknowledge the effect and the impact it has on a child when they're told no and to stop and to shut up. We have to acknowledge the pain that child experienced when it didn't feel like it belonged in its purest expression and form. We have to acknowledge that before we just say, I belong. So there's that, all that not belonging energy. You're not welcome here. That's been passed down through our ancestral lines from mother, father. And then there are the schools. That is amazing, is the schools where there are a lot of amazing schools today. Children are really like, I look at them and I'm like, whoa, I want them to be my leader because parents are doing better and better, which is really beautiful to witness evolution. A lot more is happening. And sadly, many of us grew up in schools that, again, there wasn't much space for us to embrace our authenticity and our voice. There was right and there was wrong. There was good and there was bad. I remember like an art teacher, a music teacher that saw me, and that meant a lot. Very few adults that could see me in my wisdom when I was little. And I'm sure you have a few like that. Maybe it was your parents. My parents too, like have that. It's just we have to acknowledge how we grew up because this wound of feeling like we don't belong has very big impact in our lives. So we have to acknowledge where the issue originated from. Let's leave past lives out of it for now, but just feel how many times as a child in school you there was this feeling that like no, 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 and like just more and more stiffness, and like becoming this thing that fits in. And it was scary, right? I remember these like adults that looked kind of unhappy. I was like, whoa, what is up with this world? Like, what is up with these adults? Like, they forget how to play, or did they forget how loved they are and how easy life can be if we would just share and forgive? I remember feeling that as a child. I remember feeling really sad for the adults I saw around me. And there were very few, like, I'm like, oh, see. So we have to acknowledge that that's a big part of that wound of belonging that we feel. We may feel like we don't belong. And then even after school, just the norm of what people call reality and society in terms of how we operate with time and space, like the money system. It's almost like you're bribed and get more benefits for being not you. Just to think of the impact that has on us, we have to acknowledge these things in order to really mend the wound of not belonging. You get benefits if you distance yourself. If your soul is less in your body. That's how many of us grew up. I'm not saying that's everyone. And I'm not saying that, yeah, we can't look at this from a different perspective of how it's all a gift. Yes. But right now, I would like to shed light upon the dark crevices of our being because they need to be looked at and acknowledged. So, just to reflect on and actually feel for a moment how the norm of society and survival and what thriving has been called is almost like you get benefits for not being your full embodied, free flowing, unique being that you are. Oh, Bella. Oh, baby. She's a little bit of a cough. So there's that. like, oh, I better not free flow and be in the unknown and follow the rhythm of my heartbeat, the rhythm that pulses life and blood into my body. I'm not going to listen to that heart. I better not. I won't survive. I'm going to be bad. I'm going to be called crazy. These are big things that we were fed, all the programming that was fed to us from age 1 to 10. That's the programming that runs your life, unless we actually look at it. And that requires patience. It requires curiosity. It requires questioning our own lives and our reality and the expression of our being. And it's not comfortable. I could say that when I started unpacking the wound of not belonging in the past couple weeks, it wasn't pretty. Um, but now, as we look at this deep wound of not belonging and how it's affecting our lives, because if we don't belong, like, that's a life threat. If we don't belong in our homes, how we are with our family, our roommates, our community, our neighborhood, our daily jobs, our own children, like, oh, that's a horrible energy of dis-ease flowing around. And if we look at it, we actually see it. Where do you feel like you don't belong? When do you feel like you don't belong? With whom do you feel like you don't belong? Why do you believe you don't belong just as you are? When we look at it, we can liberate it. We can love it. We can, like, feel it. How sad that is that our souls don't feel like they belong on this planet. It's so sad. It's just so sad that people call this life and this reality and this planet a place where we gotta be realistic. Like, what does that even mean? It's just so sad. I'm just remembering the eyes of innocence I had that are returning to me now of when I was just a 3-year old. I'm like, what? Why are people like this? This is so sad. People looked gray to me. Gray. And again, not all of us had these childhoods. I'm not making this video to reach the globe. Even though I'm not opponent, I'm not like against it, but to me, like, really deeply touching one person's heart and being able to be me and my soul belonging in my body is worth a lot more and can create a lot more impact. So this is really sad to just see it very clearly for me today. How my soul has never felt like it belonged. Even if there were environments that claimed I belong in spiritual communities or with beloveds, like, I never really sat and looked until fully today how my soul is afraid that it will never belong here. So, what happens with, like, what are the impacts of this is if our soul doesn't feel like it belongs in our body, we're zombies. We're like robots just living a nightmare. And we're like basically enslaving one another because we don't have what we need in our own body. We don't have our light. So we're looking for it outside ourselves and keeping other people out of their alignment because they can't possibly provide enough light. in exchange for our soul being in our body. So it's like zombies just feeding off each other. It's really horrible. And feeding this machine that's basically like a prison system. But that's not reality. It's not reality. Just because most people on whatever this globe is right now are doing that, it doesn't mean that that's reality. That's where the collective consciousness is at, or the majority, which is shifting. I wouldn't say that's reality. I would say that's what's shifting. And the more we stop feeding that machine and we stop feeding off one another and we actually look at our own wounds and begin to lick them, we can begin filling our own cup and seeing that we actually have everything that we need always. We can actually, rather than being these zombies that are just hovering around in this horizontal plane, we can go vertical and like connect to infinite light and be plugged in, like truly sovereign, not like theoretically I'm sovereign, I know my rights. Like this is embodied sovereignty. You beginning with saying, my soul is fully belongs in my body. My soul belongs in my body. My soul belongs in my body now. My soul belongs in my body now. And if that feels like a threat to others around you or your life, then that's not life. That's a prison system. That's us selling our soul, giving it away, saying goodbye, soul, and just operating as these bodies that are, I don't even know what they're made out of. Pain, suffering, disease, that are looking for solutions and fixing outside ourselves. It's just, it's so sad. And as we feel this, we're actually really taking responsibility. Even if it may seem to the mind that we're losing control and we don't know what will happen, just think of the significance if people actually felt safe enough to embody their light and be connected to source energy. Just imagine what the world could look like if people weren't feeding off each other anymore in the name of lack. And people weren't suffering from feeling they're lost and they don't belong. And this reflects in our homes, it reflects with how we relate. Like, yeah, this is all a dream and an illusion, but like, can we be awake in the dream? Can we be conscious in the dream and not like living off these unconscious programs? It's like playing a video game that you hate forever. Can we switch the game up with like a game of like your soul is actually safe to belong in your body? Can we do that for those that we love and show them what it's like? When we take extra time during the day to nurture ourselves, can we realize the impact that that has? Just it's been so scary for me to take time to actually care for myself. It's been the scariest thing to actually create space in my body to embody my soul, because I was like, oh, I don't belong. I'm an alien. So this deep wound we have to look at. We have to feel, because it's impacting everyone. and all those big topics that people speak of how horrible they are. The war, the wars, child trafficking. This is one of the seed wounds that us running from our own wound of not belonging is feeding that system. It does begin with you. It begins with me. We don't have to impact hundreds and thousands of people. We just need to touch one heart with our own embodied presence. And I'm just grieving how my whole life I'm just seeing clearly, which feels really good, even though it's sad. It's just so easy, also, and people are so afraid. I'm in like a big city now, LA, and I'm just witnessing and seeing how things, when they're at a faster pace and there's more pressure to survive, how just seeing. So, I'd just like to take a moment together for the well-being of all, and this is what I did in the bath, and it's really nourishing. So when I learned this position of the body, which balances out the right and left hemispheres of the brain, it's a really amazing way to, um, if you would like to say an affirmation, to actually like have your brain actually feed that to the body. So I'll show you how to do it. It's really simple, and you can use this position uh, in your daily life and with any affirmation. So how am I going to show you? What you do is, uh, okay, so you cross either left leg over right leg and left wrist over right wrist like this and interlace the fingers, or you could do right over left and right over left. So I'm going to do left over right and left over right like this. And close your eyes. We're just going to repeat this affirmation as lighthouses for the globe, what people are experiencing. So close your eyes and we'll just repeat silently to yourself, or you can say it out loud as you naturally breathe. You can just visualize the words that I'm saying and breathe naturally. I belong here just as I am. I belong here just as I am. I belong here now just as I am. And take a moment, just let that echo silently, keeping your hands and legs crossed. And I actually feel called while you do this, just keep breathing and seeing those words. I feel called to play you a little drum. Hope this works with the mic. you're ready, just open your eyes. And the second part of this exercise is to unlo- uncross your feet and just place your 2 feet on the ground and bring all your fingers to touch like this. With your eyes open, you use the same affirmation. So you're welcome to look at me or look at your surrounding. And you can repeat this silently with me or just let it echo. I usually just let the words echo silently, but I'll say it for the sake of this exercise with you. So I belong here just as I am. I belong here just as I am. I belong here just as I am. I belong here now just as I am. I belong here now just as I am. Just see how you can believe this and you can feel this and you're still safe in your environment. You can even feel this with your eyes open. Look around where you are. I belong here just as I am. And so it is said, and so it is done, and so it is seen, and so it is so, and so it is felt, and so it shall be. If anybody actually watched this full video, I would love to know if it touched you, or if it brought something up for you, or if you have a question. It really helps to actually feel connection when following this like new path of expression. It really inspires me. Oop. I don't do it for validation, but connection feels really, really good to me and fuels me. So let me know. And if you do resonate with this flow and frequency of energy coming through, then yes, and it with your attention, which is the greatest value on the planet, with a like or a comment or a subscribe button, or by sharing it with someone who may need this. Blessing all beings, that everybody feels like they belong, that we feel safe to follow the unique rhythm of our heartbeat. Our soul can dance in this physical dimension, and that we can feel safe and supported to be in our unique innocence on this planet as a prism, not prison, prism playground. A prism playground. What if this planet, in its natural state, in its native state, was a prism playground? Okay. Blessing you. Oh, Bella's yelping. And if you'd like support, I do have different offerings. You can check out my Linktree or contact me. One-on-one sessions with me, group experiences, but the one-on-one sessions are really like, they're not therapy. It's more of like getting into your hard drive, and it's basically like a life review of your subconscious, whatever's operating your life. And we clear out things, and we kind of do a life review while we're still alive, and kind of upgrade the system. We upgrade and repattern and reprogram your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is like a VCR DVD player, and we get to choose what games we play and then experience it in our external reality. So if you'd like to deep dive one-on-one, then let me know. Blessing you with belonging.